What is going on, guys? My name is Joltich, and today I'm going to bring you the last LC game of Week 2 for SPL 7 between Mambo of the Wi-Fi Wolfpack and ZoroDark of the Bigs. Wolfpack are up on the week at the moment and apparently have been getting really lucky, but I haven't really been paying attention that much. But Mambo's coming off a Week 1, very impressive Week 1 win against Madoka, where ZoroDark's coming off an unfortunate loss to King Numbers, where he missed a high jump kick. Mambo's got a really offensive-looking team, featuring another Drifloon. This thing is so popular, this SPL. It is absurd. And I think Rufflet makes its first appearance of the tour. Anyway, they've started, and we've got lead Pony from Mambo and lead Archon from ZoroDark. Pony outspeeds Archon, but doesn't really want to deal with this. It can burn it and definitely have the Archon crippled, so I could see that as a possible play from Mambo here. ZoroDark probably will want his rocks here. I expect this to be his rocker, though Poniard is also an option to be a rocker. Looking at ZoroDark's team, it appears to be pretty standard bulky offense, using that cool wall breaking core of what I assume to be Download Porygon and Scrub. Cottonee as the secondary fighting resist, along with Scrub and standard Foo probably, and then Pawn could be FCD or Rocks or Scarf, or could be any number of things. Mambo doesn't want to stay on Archon, as Archon sets up a Tailwind. That makes sense. That's kind of weird, I think, but to set Tailwind up turn 1, but now ZoroDark's team's going to outspeed all of Mambo's team for these next 3 turns. Not that Ferroseed's going to be outspeeding anything anyway, but so Ferroseed's in, and Archon loses to Ferroseed 1v1. I expect Mambo to want to get up his rocks, or he could possibly fire off a T-Wave here, as ZoroDark goes Scrub, and Scrub does get T-Waved. Him bringing in Scrub like that leads me to believe that this is probably HP Fire Scrub. HP Fire Scrub's really cool to destroy Ferroseed, which is usually a pretty decent switch into Scrub, seeing as it is immune to Poison Stab and and resists Water Stab. But Mambo sets up his rocks there as Scrub full paras, so we don't get to know if this was HP Fire yet. I'd actually be surprised if Mambo wants to stay in here and tempt fate, though Scrub has 0 switch-ins, so I'm not really sure what he would go out to instead. Scrub was going to get revenge next turn anyway as Diglett. Scrub is going to get trapped by Diglett soon anyway, unless it's switched out there. Definitely getting trapped now, as it's not HP Fire Scrub. Could be Restock Scrub. Restock is a set, though I would be surprised if it was with the Tailwind support. So I assume it's just all-out attacker Scrub. Maybe T-Spikes, but maybe HP Psychic for Krogunk. That's also a very viable HP to run. I don't know. But he does get the Scald Burn there, as Scrub's Eviolite was knocked off. Ferroseed's crippled now. Ferroseed does not like residual damage on it, but I think Ferroseed's pretty much done its job. It pretty much has done its job for the game, though it's a solid just bulky mon to have, and Iron Barbs could be useful later, so I could see Mambo doing something about saving this, though he doesn't really want anything that wants to switch into Scrub. He just decides to go off a Bullet Seed, and Scrub gets full parried again. Scrub's really unfortunate, to be honest, but Pony's actually a massive threat to ZoroDark's team now that I look at it, especially if it is Wild Charge. Um, his Wild Charge hits both of ZoroDark's fire resists, and then everything else is just really annoyed by Pony. Fu doesn't like getting burned, neither does Pawn. Cottony is doing nothing to Pony except like stun sporing it maybe. And then Porygon's bulky, but like doesn't want to take repeated flare blitzes, and I don't think it would win on its own. So Mambo's got pretty good. I think this is Ponyta's first appearance as well. But Scrub gets full parrot again. Which is again super unfortunate. Just more residual would be really nice, but Mambo's just staying in and clicking more bullet seeds. This time gets a 5-hit off on it. The Scrub finally goes for the HP fire that I thought it was. I don't know why it didn't go for that before. Yeah, really unfortunate. He could have had Ferroseed dead a long time ago, but Scrub's going to get revenged here by Diglett, more than likely. It's probably what I would go for if I were Mambo, but yeah, but I mean it would still, and if it does get revenged, it doesn't really matter about how long it took to kill the Ferroseed, as long as he ended up killing the Ferroseed. But Mambo's really low on timer for whatever reason. I didn't think anyone was taking a long time, but Mambo dropped down to 60 seconds there. But yeah, in comes Diglett, like I said, to trap this Scrub. Diglett's been really good so far this SPL, and just is really good in general. He's banking on a full para and gets it. This Scrub is so unlucky. And now Diglett's behind the sub, which is really unfortunate for ZoroDark. Yeah, he's just not getting any of the luck right now. And Wolfpack are, and Mambo of Wolfpack is showing why they're being called Hacks Pack by a few members of the community. But yeah, this time Scrub is taken out as Diglett goes for the EQ and loses, and is shown to be Life Orb Diglett, which obviously it's going to be if it went for sub the previous turn. So now ZoroDark is probably forced into Cottony, more than likely. That's if Cottony has a grass move. Cottony doesn't have to run a grass move, I guess. Now I guess it'd be useful for if Cottony was running a grass move. Other than that, he can go to Porygon, which he ends up doing. Porygon gets the download boost and attack. That's not what Porygon wants. If it's Ice Beam Pory, actually, Pory's taken a lot from that Earthquake, about half. He can't really recover this off because it's being 2-hit KO'd, and ZoroDark's in an awful position at this point with all that with all the paras and everything. I'm really surprised he didn't go out to Cottony there, but maybe he thought he was Trace Pory, because Trace Pory does counter trap Diglett after it's revenged something. I mean, after it's trapped something, but this is not looking good for ZoroDark here. He's trying to recover off the Earthquakes, and technically he is able to do that. Earthquake's doing slightly less than half, so Porygon's gaining a net of 1 HP per turn. But, I mean, you're playing around with potential... Wow, that was a really fucking low roll. To the Pory here, but now it looks like Porygon's gonna be fine, and can actually break the Diglett sub this time, and just kind of Life Orb stall as it has been doing. Jesus Christ! My phone just randomly decides to blow up now. Hopefully you can't hear that, but just Pory keeps recover stalling the Diglett. it's fair, I guess. Diglett goes to the Sucker Punch, not wanting to waste more Earthquake PP. It has 10 Earthquakes left, and Pori has 10 Recovers left. Goes for the Earthquake there, gets the high roll. Pori just recovers all the way back up. And this Diglett is being stalemated, so I mean, ZoroDark was able to stall out Pori. Stall out this Diglett really well. Mambo is not in a winning battle here at this point. It's been shown that, but he's trying to PP stall this Pori. As Pori keeps going for recover, it's down to 7. Diglett has 8 Earthquakes, or 7, 8 Earthquakes left, as Pori's down to 6 recovers. Finally, the Porygon breaks the Diglett sub, yeah, that was a kind of boring series of plays there of about, like 10 turns, just of recover and EQ and stuff. But yeah, Mambo can switch out now, I guess. This Pori's shown recover and psychic so far. It's probably got Tri Attack. I don't know what its fourth move is going to be. Download Pori typically will run a third attacking move, potentially Ice Beam, as their fourth move. Though something like HP Fighting is also an option here. Let's see what Mambo decides to go for. I could see like this Diglett being Memento to set up a Shellder Shell Smash, though Shellder doesn't win at this point because we've got a full health non-knocked off Mienfoo and a full health non-knocked off Poniard still around. So Shellder's not going to win here if you were to try and set up a smash. But it'll be interesting to see which set this Rufflet is. I think Bulk Up is the best Rufflet set around, but Scarf is also an option. Rufflet hits really hard actually with hustle boosted moves. If it got Brave Bird, oh my god, that would just end lives. But unfortunately for it, it's only stuck with Aerial Ace. As Diglett does go for the Memento, as I suggested. Now let's just see what Mambo decides to go out to. I can see Rufflet because I don't really see Shellder here because, like I said, Shellder doesn't muscle past Foo or Poniard at this point, as he does go Rufflet, as I expected. So it's potential for a bulk up here. Rufflet doesn't outspeed, if it's bulk up Rufflet, it doesn't outspeed Archin or Poniard, or Foo, maybe even Cottony, because bulk up Rufflet runs 13 speed if I remember correctly. And even if it does try to set up, ZoroDark does have a Cottony, though Cottony to Encore, though Cottony doesn't exactly want to switch into an Aerial Ace. I could see a superpower here if it is something like a Scarf Rufflet. Scarf Rufflet, like I said, is definitely an option. But Rufflet's kind of free to just do whatever it wants to. Guess there's always potential it gets Encored, but I don't really see. I wouldn't be surprised if Cottony came out, but at the same time I would, as ZoroDark does decide instead to go to Mienfoo, as Rufflet does bulk up. We've got a +1/+1 Rufflet. Rufflet's actually really bulky. Like more so than people expect. It's got 70 HP, which is quite good in LC, as well as 50 on the defenses. I think it hits 25, 14 bulk, as Mienfu knocks off its Eviolite as it goes for the aerial ace and mutilates the Fu. And down goes Fu. That's one thing preventing the shoulder sweep here. Now if the Cottony is actually really annoying for the shoulder sweep, as it can't really smash for free, or it'll get encored, though. Mambo could just as well go straight for an Icicle Spear and take out a Cottony, but in comes Archon. Archon also outspeeds this roughly, and Mambo doesn't really have a great switch into Archon. Now, it'll be about if Archon can hit its assumed Rock Slide here. Yeah, I expect a Rock Slide from Archon here, and Mambo doesn't really have an option thing. He decides to go to Shelter as Archon sets up the Tailwind. Again, fine. If Porygon comes in on this Shelter, it's going to get the Spatak boost and going to be really, really scary under Tailwind. As Porygon does come in and get that Spatak boost, Icicle Spear is doing nothing. Mambo doesn't even get a crit in any of those hits. So Porygon's in and is pretty much getting a kill. Yeah, it can pretty freely go for the Psychic here. Though if it goes for Psychic, Floon will come in and outspeed next turn, though Floon's not. Floon typically isn't offensive in this day and age. It's typically a defensive Wisp set that I've been preaching about in previous games, even though I've never used it. But so I expect a Psychic from ZoroDark here as he goes for Tri-Attack, and Mambo wastes a Tailwind turn, which is cool. I think Mambo was probably predicting the Psychic as well, or the Tri-Attack. I think Floon was definitely his best play there. But this game's looking real close. Porygon's super threatening to just super threatening in general, but especially to Mambo's team, as is the Archon. And yeah, Mambo's got a minute left to make a move here, contemplating what he wants to do. He's probably going to try to pivot. Okay, as he goes for the knockoff will be really nice for doing damage to this Porygon, as especially with Shelter, whatchamacallit, as the Tailwind peters out and Drifloon is going to outspeed this Porygon. So we'll see if Mambo can get Pony in for free. I think he's going to be in a really strong position, especially Wild Charge Pony. Actually, because Archon had Tailwind, I wonder if Cottony potentially has Tailwind. I think Cottony gets Tailwind since Whimsicott does, so that would be a surprise. Prankster Tailwind could be cool, I guess. But ZoroDark goes Archon here on the Willow Miss. That's unfortunate for Mambo there, as Archon would have been dropped down into Berry Juice range, but would have been severely crippled, and now it's not. That was really unfortunate for Will-O-Wisp. I really like the new animation, but like, I swear I never see that animation hitting, as Archon decides to go for the Rock Slide there on the incoming Shelter, and likely to set up another Tailwind on a potential Shell Smash, or yeah, I think it's likely to do that, or it could switch out. He could switch out into Porygon, I guess, but he does decide to set up a Tailwind, as Shelter just decides to go for the Icicle Spear. I think that was the better play on Mambo's part, and the Icicle Spear is gonna take him out. The fact that he got a crit didn't matter, as Porygon is in again and has 3 turns of Tailwind of use now. As long as Drifloon doesn't eat an Ice Beam, so Mambo's gonna have to pivot around this thing. But as long as Drifloon doesn't eat an Ice Beam, it can take any one hit from this Porygon, I believe. Probably yeah, we'll see what Mambo wants to do. He decides to leave in his Shelter to take that Psychic and waste a Tailwind turn. Here I expect him to maybe go out to his Floon and maybe go to his Floon and then pivot out into one of his other Mons or Rufflet and do the same. As he does go Floon, I expect him to could potentially pivot out, I guess. But yeah, that missed burn was kind of unfortunate for Mambo, but Archon didn't really do much. I mean, it injured Shelter, but Shelter was going to go down to this Porygon anyway after Archon set up a Tailwind. Yeah. So this game is coming down to the wire here. You don't really know which way it's going to go. I see Ponyta as Mambo's win con, as Drifloon goes for the Will-O-Wisp on ZoroDark's incoming pawn, and that is massive. I'm really surprised the Floon went for that play. Maybe he was predicting him not to have Ice Beam, which is definitely possible. And I don't really know what was the thought process, honestly. But Pawn's burned. Pawn is still threatening to Drifloon though, as Drifloon still has his item and is not taking a knockoff very well. As Mambo goes into Pony on Poniard's Rocks. Pawn did end up being Rocks, as the Tailwind peters out and Ponyta gets to fire off a pretty free Flare Blitz here. Yeah, I see this being just standard Pony. Fourth move's always up for customization. Wild Charge is an option. Flame Charge has been getting a lot more popular recently as a way to prevent it from getting trapped by Diglett. So it's potentially just dual fire move, but a Flare Blitz is gonna hurt anything here. So I would expect Ponyta to go for that, as Poniard sets up Rocks again. Scarf Pawn, okay. Scarf Rocks Pawn is interesting. But Pony takes that out with a Flare Blitz. I don't know why you would run Scarf Rocks Pawn. I mean, it's perfectly good Archon you could put Rocks on. But in comes Cottonee. I expect Cottonee to try and maybe Memento, or maybe set up another Tailwind. I think Cottonee gets Tailwind. Actually, let me check. Wait, learn Cottonee Tailwind. It can learn Tailwind, so it's possible it could set up another Tailwind, which would be really cool, and could potentially have ZoroDark win the game. Cottonee instead decides to go for the taunt, as Mambo goes for the flame charge, potentially to waste. Okay, no, that makes sense, because he, in case of the Tailwind Cottony, as it ends up being Tailwind Cottony, Ponyta's still gonna outspeed this Porygon now, and can hit it with a strong Flare Blitz. That was good on Mambo's part, going for the Flame Charge there, as Mambo's going to pick up the victory with the Flare Blitz. Well played game to both. It came down to the wire there, but Mambo had the right move to win him the game with his pony, as Mambo improves to 2-0 on the season, and ZoroDark drops to 0-2. And I think that wins the Wolfpack the week. I'm not entirely sure on that, though. Yeah. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed, please feel free to leave a like, comment with any feedback, and subscribe for more competitive LC content. I will see you guys next time.